Okay, so Blood Bowl news time. Just want to first of all start off by thanking everybody out there who supports the show one way or another, whether you just like and subscribe on YouTube, listen to the podcast, or one of our Patreons. And we've had a few new joiners this month. Blake Miller, Trevor Craig, Benedict Simon, Liam, DWL, Stuart DeWaverin, Lars Brondum, Jason Brake, Rupert McLeod, Lorenzo, Kimarosa, Mike Lietzu, Sergio da Sierra, and Charles Mortain. Thank you very much for joining the crew. Appreciate it. It allows us to get our hands on all the latest Blood Bowl goodies and share them with everybody. Okie dokie. Guys, bit of a quiet Blood Bowl month so far, but we do have one very cool Kickstarter coming out, which is the Dungeon Lab from your boys, MG Pick Strips.
Oh yeah, love this guy. He's a amazing Italian sculptor who's done some pretty good stuff before, including the West Cross Abbey team that we've used for the Death team. That had a mini Snotling team just bundled up for free with it as well.
Yeah, the little undead heads was so cool. So this goes live on, I think, Friday. So we're recording on Thursday. So if you're listening on the Patreon, it will be live now. And our video preview will either be in with the Kickstarter or shortly followed. But like Trip said, we did get our hands on a load of it early, and we printed off a load of it. We made the spinny plate. So if you came to Dorset Dungeon Bowl, or you've been watching the Dungeon Bowl series, the spinny plate is all tiles and walls from the actual Kickstarter. Although when I did the video review, I forgot that I painted the flames green. And of course, with the green screen, it just means that there's just invisible. And then I decided, you know what would be a great idea? To use the Marienburg Minotaurs models as the model to demonstrate, who are also green. So yeah, I need to stop painting things in green, but you guys have been saying that for a long time. Anyway, Kickstarter goes live now. And you get, we'll talk about what it is in a second. You get tiles and walls and doors and accessories and the price point. Have you guys seen the price point?
It is beautifully unavoidably low.
I think we've just seen a live reaction from Ben there.
Yeah, I just scrolled up. Like, what?
€10 for early bird. Now that's only early bird, so by the time you listen to this, the early bird may have gone, and then it's
fork out 15
€15 for everything in this Kickstarter. Now we got a preview batch, so we didn't even get our hands on every one of the STL files, but we still had enough to print an entire dungeon, and we've printed an entire dungeon, and it's awesome. So what the Kickstarter is a series of STL files, and it's got this very cool magnetic system. So there's tiles, there's walls, you can print them off, you can use them. And when it comes to our dungeon thing, we did a very similar thing to the spinny plate, which was print out the files on resin, glue them down, chuck in some gravel and bits and pieces, and do a proper like old school modeling job, like how you would make a dungeon in the 2000s. But they've got this very cool undertile system. And Trips, you actually printed out how to play with some of that, didn't you?
Yeah, so it's a really good like base plate set of tiles to allow you to clip the bases together, but that you can then readjust your main tiles as well, and it's all magnetized together. And once you stick it together, it's really solid, really quickly. It gives it a nice bit of weight and detail, and it's going to stop you knocking it around on the board. There's nothing worse than splatting an ogre and killing a dungeon in the same time.
They've done an outrageously good job on the Kickstarter of having like loads of GIFs and just to kind of demonstrate it. And it kind of it's got like the vibe of an old Mattel kind of like I think it's just because all you've got is the picture of the dungeon stuff in a pure white background and a bodiless arm just kind of removing stuff and putting things in there. The only thing that's missing,
mysterious turtleneck arm.
Exactly right. The only thing that's missing is like smoke effects and a VHS. And I think I think it's so good. One thing to mention is because they've got the doors and the wall sections, they don't fit in the tiles, so you do have spaces. But again, like Trip said, they're under tiles. So you can print off a bunch of under tiles, magnetize them, and you just literally chop and change whenever you build a dungeon, and you get kind of half tiles to fill out the gaps. The Kickstarter has been done awesomely, and the value is outrageous. It takes a while to print stuff. Like, it took me a good couple of weeks to print out 70 tiles and 16 walls and 20 doors or whatever. But, oh man, it's so rewarding. And now it's all glued down on our 3x2. It looks so good.
It does.
I just absolutely, really, really excited for this one. I'm really hoping it lands really well. And that price point has got to. And the merch is only £50, or no, it's not even pounds, it's euros. I don't know what the difference is these days. I don't know if, I imagine not a lot, to be honest. But if you just, yeah, absolutely love this. I'm super excited for it. I'm over the moon with what we've got. And as I kind of said in the video reviews, like, it's literally just the first bit that we printed. There's going to be so much more that we do with this in the future.
Yeah, this is really, really cool. Huge variety. Unbelievable. Yeah. You mentioned with the gaps, like, you actually overcame that kind of reasonably well, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I didn't. So either in the preview tiles that we got access to a few weeks ago, they didn't have the half tiles in there, or I just missed them. I wasn't too fussed, because with the dungeon layout, and it's been built for Dungeon 1 and Dungeon 3 for Dorset Dungeon Bowl and our Dungeon Bowl Championship series. It means that there's like an 18mm gap a couple of times, and you just space the tiles out a little bit and put some gravel in between, and it's almost unnoticeable. Like,
yeah, like the squares are very apparent, like where players can stand, right? So there's no like ambiguity there.
No, it works brilliantly. So it's not a stadium. It's as good as. This is a dungeon, and they've done a great job of marketing it for Dungeon Bowl players. But realistically, this is just anybody who wants a dungeon in kind of new Hammer scale, even though you can scale it up and scale it down quite handily. They're going to have some stretch goals, and I think it's pretty fair to say that they're automatic. So there's a whole bunch of different tiles, and then there's going to be portal doors, which I'm quite excited about. Doesn't quite work for Dungeon Bowl, because obviously you kind of have to stand on a portal and it's a door, but I don't really care. But it's a great way to, like, we had a great Whip Wednesday this week where someone is building their own Space Hulk, but using dwarves versus Skaven in a dungeon. Yes, even though I have a new laptop, I'm still using the computer, and the computer can't handle doing everything at once, so it died halfway through. However, I think, guys, unless I'm mistaken, that is everything for Blood Bowl news. I've not missed. Nothing else has been released. Have we had anything from Games Workshop?
No, I think it's all been heresy,
and more heresy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Have you guys bought any heresy?
No?
Did you get the starter
So
set,
don't hold
Ben?
off. I did, yeah, and a couple of rhinos and some transfers
Oh my god.
and the book. Yeah, it was not cheap, but no, I can't justify it. It was just fun. Yeah, I was about to justify it. It was something ridiculous. It was like,
What, you were going through this, like, I do need it, I don't need it, I do need it. And it was like,
Yeah.
as soon as you start going through that, at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, you're going to be like, refresh.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Which is very much what it was like. And it was the old classic of, like, you tried to buy it and your cart errors out, so you're just like, right on to the next website.
Yeah.
And
I was very good. I printed 5 8mm Space Marines and painted them, and that kind of got me through the FOMO. I was like, you know what? No, it's fine. I realized that I hate painting Space Marines. This is fine. I can now move on. I can now go. So I was pretty safe with that.
even when they're 8mm.
Oh, they're so good, man.
Still miserable.
Yeah, it's not fun. Right, that is everything except for the fact that we've sold nearly, I think, 50 trips for South Coast Series, and that is that 4 weeks today as the podcast comes out? 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, 4 weeks time. I think this is probably where we're going to get a load of people buying tickets, because they're like, it's 4 weeks. We can go to this tournament. It's a standard 11s tournament. Nothing too crazy. Star players are allowed. Giants technically are allowed. So yeah, if you fancy some proper Blood Bowl at the Bick again, run by these two gentlemen, then please come on down, because it's going to be a great day. Tickets are available at the Entoyment website, and it's always in the link and the show notes. Right, with that in mind, we've actually got some cool hobby to talk about, so we're going to bounce into hobby. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content. We get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.